Hello and welcome. Thank you, Cameron, for joining us today. I look forward to hearing about the developments in your solution, ETANI, today. Now, can I hand over to you to run through the presentation that you've got and let everyone know about it?
Great. Thanks for having me, Heather. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Cam. I'm from ETANI. I've just put up my bio on the screen. It's a great privilege to talk about AI. I'm very excited about what it's doing. Even if it's in its infancy, I think a lot of us can see what's happening and can start extrapolating where the direction is going and how useful it's going to be in the accounting profession. So my background is that I'm a chartered accountant. I worked in practice and commerce for around about 8 years, and now, goodness me, Heather, look at this. I've been in accounting tech for coming up 10 years,
Wow.
doing accounting tech and doing Power BI reporting. Oh, goodness me, it's a long time. It just flies, but there you go. Here I am. So in this presentation, when I talk about, I'm the founder of ETANI, and when I talk about reporting with you, I just want the audience to be aware I am referencing the SME market. That's who ETANI serves. So sometimes if I talk about Excel in a manner, that is not, like, as you know, like bigger businesses use three-way forecasting and things like that, really complex models. I really want to hit home on the SME market. So I'll try and just be aware that I'm referencing them when I talk about this, okay? Great.
Thanks for that.
So I'm going to follow along with your brilliant little detailed way of doing this, just so that we are staying on track and everyone can follow along. So I'm going to start by showing you a quick little, this is a 90-second demo of ETANI. We're going to show more, but this is a really good way to just touch base on what is ETANI, what is EVA, how does it all fit in? So what you're seeing right now, I've just hit play, is that what ETANI does is we get that data. So we've got Xero Blue and Xero Practice Manager, WorkflowMax, all the different data sources come into the ETANI system through API. And then at a broad level, what you're able to do now is ask EVA, our AI, questions. So this question is, who are our best customers? And it will spit out a report. But I've got 3 examples here, but I really want you to think about how customizable this is to ask things that are important to you. This is a WorkflowMax question or a Xero Practice Manager, like looking at productivity, what's expected versus what's actual. And this last example here is a tracking category one in Xero Blue. So what is your gross profit by account name, by tracking category? And you can see them along the top there. They give you the gross profit with the different account names. So those 3 examples, what you can do, you've built a few reports and now you can pin them. So pin, bang, 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 and on they go onto your dashboard for you to play with and interact with. And then you can bring up EVA next to it to build and interact with your dashboards as well. So I'm just showing you an example here that we look at a P&L, we look at wages, and we say, show me a breakdown of those wages, or show me, this is an example, show me a cumulative over time so that we can sort of visualize it. So very quick, I'm going to go into a lot more detail, but I really want to hit home first, just at a high level, what's going on and why I think what EVA can do. So hopefully that sort of just at a top level explained. It's an AI that has access to your client's data, and you can surface reports from it just by asking questions. That's really at the heart of it.
And the natural language questions, so it's kind of really easy and accessible for people to use. And I'm going to sound really shallow, but I really like the colorings in the graphs. They really sort of popped out for me.
Yep, definitely. That's good to hear. We have customizable coloring system for you to put it to your firm colors. So I want to take a step back and talk about the problem that's being solved here, because I feel like there's so much AI, Heather, like it's just everywhere, and everyone's like, yeah, I mean, it can write that poem, but what does that even, like, why is that useful? Like, I really want us to get away from why this is, what problem we're solving is really what I want to talk about with you now. So the way I'm going to talk to you about what problem's being solved is I'm going to take a step back into the world that I've lived in for 10 years, and that is Microsoft Power BI, okay? So what you're looking at right now is one of my clients. What they did was they connected up their Xero files for their clients, and they built this Microsoft Power BI report that they give to all their clients. They called it the big picture. And as you can see, there's a lot of thought that's gone into this, right? They've done cash drivers, funding, then you can drill into the different pages. So like we can go into the cash driver page and go back to the home page. This is how they've decided to do this. And the way I would always look at this as is superior reporting, like customizable storytelling, really, really powerful. Okay, that's been the story of what Microsoft Power BI has been for a long time. But to do this, I want us to have a proper conversation about what's going on here behind the scenes, because I have worked with accounting firms and Power BI for a very long time now. And what I know is that this, as a minimum, if as a minimum, this takes one staff member skilled in Microsoft Power BI full-time to be able to build out your reporting requirements and also maintain. So just because you hire someone who is really skilled at Power BI, that's not the end of the game. Like there's also the time that it takes. So these guys spend so much time building out these superior reporting things. So the challenges on the Power BI side for a smaller firm is that it's quite expensive. I'm going to say just to get something like this up and running, you're looking at maybe $100,000 to $150,000 of investment, right? It's going to take upskilling your staff. It's going to take buy-in from your team. It's going to take top-down leadership. Really, these accounting firm leaders have to really drive the growth of this. And small firms, Heather, I don't think have succeeded at this. This has been a real big challenge to do something like this. Even if they start, then what I find is that they run into problems like, their Power BI guru, their key staff member leaves. And oh my goodness, they come to me and I help them. We find consultants until they upskill somebody else. But, it's stressful when you're under-resourced and you don't have time. It's very stressful. So I think that the reason I jumped a couple of years ago onto AI was because of these two things. I personally think they're the two biggest challenges in accounting firms: resource issues and time issues. I just think it's so hard to find staff that are skilled, and it's no time, right? Like they don't have the time. They're trapped in compliance overload, and there's difficulty finding the staff, and and also this is a big cost. It's a big investment. You've got cost of living right now. You've got challenges. So hopefully you see where I'm going with this, is that EVA itself solves two major problems: time and resources. Because when you think about what EVA's doing, she's completely rewriting both of them. You can upskill the whole team in EVA in how to ask smart questions and create visually impressive, useful reports to your client base. And it doesn't take time. Like you don't look at this report here and that's going to take 10 hours. No, EVA, you just ask the questions and it's there. So what problem, hopefully I've hit this point really, because it's really important, is that the two major things that are happening here are the resources and the time are what EVA's solving, which I think are just huge. I mean, this is the driving force of why I bought into this whole AI movement, is that I think it's going to get accounting firms that are smaller big time into the reporting game. So
that's very exciting.
Very good. So I'm going to talk to you now. I want to talk to you, moving on to your next section, Heather, is like what works well. And I want to start by showing again another Power BI report and say, this is what works well with Power BI. This is a report, right? That's interactive. So this is an age debtors report. I'll just bring that out so you can see it a bit more. And the power of Power BI, right, is that you can click on something like David Tropics, and see how it drilled down. See how it, if I click on David Tropics or I go and click on Emma Newland, see how that changes? That's Emma
Yes.
Newland's ledgers. So the interactive nature of this stuff is really powerful. While as and you can bring all this different data together, but EVA, it's slow. So I want to show you, compared to that, some things with EVA. So what I want to bring up is this one. Come back here. Go to my current slide. So the first example I want to talk to you about is scenario analysis. And this is something that's really exciting. I've got this example here where you can say, look, I'm trying to free up $40,000 for my business. How can I do it in 30 days? And so what EVA can do, right, is say, look, if you reduced your debtor days, right, by 5 days, from, if you see this example, you bring your debtor days down from 63 to 58, that basically, this is just simple maths, right? Is that here's your trade debtors, here's your current debtor days, and by reducing it, you actually create 48,000 in free cash flow from doing that. Now, this is a scenario analysis is something that excites me because it's like, you think about that, you can move the goalposts. Like that's very complicated to do in other software because it's dynamic. You know, you go, okay, what about if I reduce debtor days by 10 days? What if we talk about inventory? You know, like stock levels. What happens with stock levels? What about playing out? I'm going to hire someone. I'm going to hire a new person that's going to cost me $50,000, right? Play out that scenario. Reduced. I'm scared I'm about to lose my best customer. What happens if I lose 10% of my revenue, right? And so this is one example of many that I think EVA and AI does really well. That actually is like, I don't even think it's appropriate to do very well in any other platform. The dynamic nature of it makes it really powerful.
How long does it take to ask that question about the cash flow impact question of EVA?
So we are on a journey right now with what I would say is EVA and ETANI. We're riding the AI wave, right? And the AI wave is just, they're in a war out there. The big guys are in a war with OpenAI and Google and Microsoft and Elon Musk and all these big players in the market who are fighting, right? And what that does for us is that it reduces costs fast and it continuously improves the speed of this. At the moment, I would say it's about 30 to 50 seconds.
Oh, fantastic. Right? Yeah.
Versus what's coming out right now that we're about to launch is called, so at the moment, we've got ChatGPT 4.0, like I'm not sure how many are familiar with the different versions of ChatGPT, but 4.0 is in the market right now. And they've now brought out what's called 4.0 mini. Oh. Now that's a really smaller, condensed version of it that we can use. So I haven't tried it yet, but the idea is that will reduce it hopefully to 20 seconds. And that journey is not something that we're overly spending much time with, because the biggest bottleneck in asking EVA questions is actually asking ChatGPT, asking OpenAI the question and waiting for its response, right? And we're riding, you know, on that level, we're riding the OpenAI wave to be able to do that.
So your ETANI's integration is with OpenAI and EVA is your name for ChatGPT. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, indirectly, we work with OpenAI, but we actually work with Microsoft. Microsoft and OpenAI have got a partnership because Microsoft invested tens of billions of dollars into the company at an early stage. So what that means is that OpenAI's technology, which is ChatGPT, is inside Microsoft, inside a secure environment. So we use their API as a foundational large language model to interact with. And then what we do is we surface that. So the idea, right, is that you connect your Xero file, for example, and what we will do is we know everything about that Xero file. So then we use ChatGPT to basically say, all right, here's the question that you've asked, and we give OpenAI the information that it needs, and then it goes, and it does its analysis.
Mm.
So yes, we are
And
using ChatGPT.
And so, for people listening in, Microsoft is best of breed in the market in terms of data security. Um, I know things happen, but you are it is best of breed. So you have a very secure data environment with what you're using.
That's correct. Microsoft Azure is, top of the tree with that type of thing, which is obviously really important. It's more expensive to be in Microsoft, but obviously the trade-offs are not appropriate. So yeah. So how cool is that, Heather? Scenario, and I love that. I love that you can play out different scenarios and do different things like that. I think it's fantastic. The other area where I really think that we're going to flourish is operational data. Okay. So the reason I'm really interested in operational data is that I've got all these different accounting firms, right? And they niche in different areas. So this gentleman from the Gold Coast, I think he's on, he has a trade client base using simPRO. So for anyone who doesn't know what simPRO is, it's for plumbers and electricians, and they do their jobs in it. They put their timesheets and their jobs, and that it's their operational system to actually do a plumbing job. And he said, "Wow, if you could allow me to connect to simPRO, and then I can just say, show me last week's jobs that were closed and their gross profit margin or their profitability," right? Accountants have never been able to do that instantly. I mean, I'm so I like the scenarios. I love the operational data. I just think you connect to whatever data source. It might be a Shopify, or if you're say you're a cafe that uses Counter, and you can ask these operational questions. Now, historically, as I said from the beginning, Power BI can do that. We can put that data in Power BI and people do it. But lots of people don't do it because of the cost and the time that it takes to do something like that. As opposed to the route we're going, connect simPRO. What jobs does Heather have today? What did she put all their timesheets in last week? I mean, we're just it's just so powerful, that instant nature with everyday language, which is why I'm so excited about this.
And it changes us from being accountants looking at historical data who are reactive to sort of being proactive and pulling out data and actually putting the information in front of the decision makers so that they can make a decision about it, rather than we coulda, we shoulda.
Yeah. And I would say, Heather, like over the past decade, something that's happened to the CFO in commerce is that they've transitioned from just management financial reporting to operational reporting, and they've had to for their job. If I would firmly say that if you're a CFO now and you're not doing operational reporting, you're not doing your job. Now, that's not the same in practice, right? In practice, accountants are still very management reporting, financial focused. I think AI is the push that pushes them into this operational world, because now they can explore. You literally can, like, on a Friday night, have this on your phone and ask EVA some questions that returns info, that will give you some. I just feel like it's going to be an explosion of operational reporting going forward.
Absolutely. But we encourage you on a Friday night to be enjoying yourself and do it on a Monday morning.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's build in some work-life balance there. With what you're saying, and with the availability of scenario analysis, is it offering you robust forecasting?
No, I mean, great segue, Heather, because this really walks us into what this is not ideal for. And you're not going to believe this. After 30 years, I'm going to say something. Excel still reigns supreme. It is still the best. It's so amazing. It's so amazing that Excel is still. I mean, whoever came up with Excel, tap on the back, don't you reckon? They really nailed it, because it's still, even in this AI world, I still see it as really powerful. Here is just a really dummy cash flow, right? But the beauty of Excel that EVA and AI and these out of the box reporting platforms can't do as well is they can't change things. Like the dynamic I call it input mechanisms, right? Power BI is not built for inputs either. Like, so then I can come down to my wedding and, I changed it to 50,000. Like it's just so fast. Like that. And so I don't think forecasting is it's not where EVA's living at the moment. And it's still, I look at it and I think, goodness me, there's some blockades with that. EVA, and I keep thinking to myself, Excel's still going to be the top of the pops on that front. I think that so where do I think EVA? So you got EVA and then you've got Power BI and Excel, right? Now I do think that EVA takes from what you do in those two programs, but they're still going to be a part of our future, like big time a part of our future. It's just that I think you'll do AI chat interface for a lot of faster, smaller things, and then there'll still be three-way forecasting and things that you do in Excel that will continue to live on.
Yes, yeah. We will always be with our spreadsheets.
Well, until one day that we won't. Surely that day will come, but I don't see it at the moment.
Well, yeah, no, I don't see it, and I don't think it's worth fighting. I think I started in Lotus 123, and we have evolutions of spreadsheets, and we have improvements of features and functionalities around them. But the good thing about spreadsheets is everyone knows them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's interesting that the forecasting you think will still happen there. And I guess potentially, if we're talking to Eva, we can ask what sort of areas should we be trying to forecast, and what sort of scenarios should we be thinking about in the forecast?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the AI, it's a really good tool. Just go and ChatGPT directly. It's a fantastic tool to brainstorm ideas and trigger new directions. I do it all the time. People say, oh, it'll just do it for. No, it doesn't do it for you. It triggers you to go in directions that I previously didn't go. I was like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. That actually might work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's really powerful on that front.
And in terms of describing the operation, and as someone who is a writer and a teacher, we methodically have been instructed to and this is someone from the for dummies world of writing. We give the learner one option, one direction. Once they know how to do that, they can explore other ways, but we're very defined in giving them just one direction to keep it simple, to not confuse them. But once we know something, and once you know something, Cam, and you're going in and asking questions, you're at an ability to accept 5 options and analyze 5 options and critically think about 5 options. So it gives you the dynamics that you can work with as a learner and as a user.
Great comments. Yeah, I agree. So just, if we just follow on from that, I just wanted to show you like how you can potentially use this with Excel as well. So this is something that a real client does, right? Is that they do gross profit rolling 12 months by tracking category. Okay. And the reason they do that is because they've got a lot of builders, like clients who build. And what they do is they segment every build they do in Xero by tracking category. So costs and revenue per build go into each tracking category, right? And so the reason they love this is that they can spit that out on a rolling 12-month basis to get WIP, right? So you take this, you copy this into Excel, and then what they do, if I jump to the other tab, is here they are, right? So they get the live information from Xero, just like exporting to CSV, but you get it shaped how you want it with EVA. And then they add their numbers. They add the budget per build, and they add the percent complete, which can give you a WIP per build. So that is like a live current use case of EVA, is what they're doing regularly with their building clients, is that they're interacting with Excel and EVA at the same time.
Excellent.
So hopefully I've touched there. I love how we jump around. It's great. makes it a lot more interactive. So thanks, Heather. And then just checking, what is it not ideal for? I think, that we've sort of touched on that Excel, and I've touched on Power BI a little bit, how it's Power BI is really when you've got lots of data set, like, you've got different data sources and you want to blend them all together into one model. I think Power BI still reigns supreme in that world, because EVA's not going to be able to handle, Xero data and Xero payroll and your Excel spreadsheet that you want to put in there as well, with custom things that you have. You want to push it all together and then have this report that is useful on a daily basis. EVA's just not capable of handling things like that with multiple data sources, complex custom columns and tables. She's built for structure, which is what we've done. The structure of Xero Blue. We know what Xero Blue has a structure, whereas if you go and need to customize it, that's where I think Power BI still will live in this world.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
you have, on one of your spreadsheets, do you have the integrations that ETANI integrates with? Do you have the solutions? Just so people can visualize that again. I think you did show it.
Yep. So
not on the spreadsheet, sorry, I meant on the PowerPoint presentation.
Yep. So if I just jump quickly to, if I jump to, you can actually go this yourself. You go firms, and you can go to integrations, and what you'll see is there is Xero Blue currently, Xero Practice Manager, and then these two are launching right now is MYOB Business, which is the old AccountWrite, and MYOB Essentials blended together as MYOB Business, and then WorkflowMax, and basically then you'll see the rest of our integrations down here. These are still working with Power BI, and what we're doing right now is training our data, our current integrations, and shifting and educating them with EVA. So this is like a slow process that eventually you'll see all these integrations on EVA.
Oh, okay. And people can you scroll down a little bit, and people can then sort of push in. Yes. Wow. So you're really offering a lot of options there for people, and they get to sort of choose which one suits their situation.
That's right. So you can imagine that, and that's where maybe I should have started with this, Heather. It's a good point, because when I was talking earlier about operational reporting, how powerful it is, this is where, Build Exact, if you've got building clients, or Arrowflow, Agent Box is for real estate agents, right? So we've already done this, right? We've done a lot of the heavy lifting here for Power BI, for businesses and accounting firms that want to work with Power BI. And now we're just educating EVA on how these different data sources work, and so that then you can do reporting for different data sources. It's a slow process, but hopefully you can see at the end here how because what I find is clients have sporadic different data sources, 0.1 or something like that. So I really believe in this long term, that we train the AI in all the different small to medium business data.
Wow, you've got actually quite a number there. And look, I think that while we have accountants who are focused, or practices that are focused generally, those ones that niche and work in sort of specific areas, and then can tag into that operational data and that financial and management data, really this becomes powerful for them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the general accountants, it's still too much. I think that because they just spread themselves so thin. You can disagree with me, but that's my thoughts.
I just, in my mind, we're solving this problem of time and resources to open the door to reporting, and I don't know the answer to what you just said, like what level of accounting firms are going to uptake, and also the new ones that previously didn't do this type of stuff because it was too complex and too time consuming. And now there's clearly benefits here with speed and confidence. Speed and confidence, I think, are huge here, but how many of them are going to come still and play? We'll monitor this over time.
Absolutely. But I think I guess what I'm saying is anyone who buys into, who is focusing on a niche that's around an app, they should definitely take a look at this. So if it's builder niches, if it's simPRO niches, if it's build exact or release or anything like that, it's something to explore. That should be the first level who's coming in and exploring. I'm not saying anyone else shouldn't, but
Mm.
and reach out to me or Cam and let me know if you think disagree with me.
And can I just, because I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver, just remember that we only on EVA currently have Xero Blue, Xero Practice Manager, MYOB, and WorkflowMax. And
Yep.
now we're about so it's this slow process where we're pushing them. And if you come to me and you're, for example, a build exact user, like if you want to work with us, we will speed up the EVA integration, because your inside knowledge is the most powerful thing we're looking for. Is that I need to understand how build exact works operationally. So if you've got input on what matters to a builder, that really helps us train EVA. And I'm very keen to be involved with you guys if you want to get involved heavily in helping EVA become knowledgeable in that area.
Excellent. Love it.
Yeah. Okay, so then the setup process is, if we jump back to following the typical, integrates with typical app stacks are like, there's not really like a typical app stack in the sense that, Xero and Xero Practice Manager, but this is not really an app stack situation. A MYOB firm using MYOB Practice Manager, but this is not really a app stack thing for us. This is like if you're using operational integrations for your client base. This is what I wanted to show you quickly, was just the process. So you sign up on the website, you add your data. So this was what we've just showed you on the page before, but this is how you just click and sign in and connect up your data. And then the next step is that you load your template. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of a demo, Heather, just on how I see this following. So connect your data, right? And then next step, you would come to creating a dashboard template. Okay. So I know everyone's got templates, but I still think they're brilliant. I know that I showed you at the start that you can ask random questions and it will build you can build your own dashboard, but templates are still a fantastic starting ground because that white page of death is like, oh, okay, I've got EVA and I've got my data connected. What do I ask? I like to start with templates. So what we've got here is a whole range of different templates out of the box that you can connect. So if I were to just, trading income, for example, and then that pops up down here, and you can build your dashboard from here. You can actually manually select the out of the box templates that are ready to go. But what we've also done here is got, different templates like that are just immediately ready. You can, like, a budget and balance sheet dashboards there, or a cash flow one is there, and it just funnels these KPIs into a layout for you out of the box to get going. So if we go with this revenue dashboard, Heather's special board, yeah,
Excellent.
and then we'll save that dashboard. And so you can see here, revenue dashboard. So we've loaded that.
I love the colors too.
And it's immediately just putting these special. These are just foundationally like management reports, sales analysis, things like that. So this would be your first thing that you would do, is just load the templates in for the data source that you're working with. Okay. Then the way I see you doing this next is that you would show EVA. Okay. So you would bring EVA up next to your dashboard. Yeah. And I'll just jump to some examples that I've already done. So I might say, look, I'm happy with this dashboard, but I want to show income this financial year versus last financial year, and difference and percentage difference by account name. Okay, so there it is. There's the result. And then I notice here that it's not quite appropriate because I want it to be to date, right? I don't want to compare last year's massive amount and there's been no, so then you can adjust it. Okay, show me income this financial year to date versus last financial year to date. And this is where you can get granular and get, now that's, that's cleaner. That's a better report. So what we'll do is we'll pin that one, okay? And we're going to pin it to Heather's special board. We'll name that, income analysis.
To date.
To date, correct.
And will tomorrow we update till tomorrow's date?
Because under the hood here, Heather, it's just SQL. We're querying a database, right? So that's the power. There's been a little bit of questioning. They go, but what if the data's wrong, Cam? And I said, when you ask Eva a question and you settle on a visual like this, so say you settle on this visual, all this visual is doing after you've pinned it to your dashboard, there's no AI interaction after you've pinned it to your dashboard. It is just SQL querying the database. And then you can see here, this is just a demo company. You can see last refresh was 5 days ago. We refresh your data every 12 hours. So it'll flow in. So financial year to date will populate, and you don't need to touch it, and it will just keep going. The same way we have, this is the same method that we've done with Power BI. It's just we funnel the data in over time. So there's that income analysis to date that we've pinned, right? And that's how I see this being worked, Heather, is that you sort of have your AI next to you. So you use AI Eva next to you to sort of build out more, like add more visuals, but also I think analyze. So like, see here, what did I do here? I said, show me sales cumulative for a specific customer, Emma Newland, right? Just show me. And so, righto. And, so this is like drilling into it and getting Emma Newland's data, right? Or what did I see here? Show me wages, general ledger movement last financial year. So we scroll down, here is the general ledger movement. If I general ledger needs a little bit more space. I'll just bring it out. But see, it's the same layout as Xero Blue, right? And you can say, right. That makes sense. Yep, got it.
And I think it was really good for people to see that you asked a question, but then you had to refine the question and drill down further. And this is something that you can do with these chatbots, these large language models. It's not the first question. Don't ask one question and then go, no, it's an absolute failure and it doesn't work. That's not how it works. You ask it and drill down and refine your question to get what you want.
I'm working with Shay. Shay's embracing Eva, and she's doing this. She's just so brilliant because she does this, right? She asks for a report and she goes, I don't want round that. I don't want decimal places. And can you also add another column on top of that? I want percentage difference between those two. You just keep going. You can iterate back and forth with Eva to shape it. And I think that will be very powerful to sort of get the end result that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So what I've shown you, hopefully, is basically you load your data, you load the templates, you use Eva to shapeshift and build it, and then you also use it to analyze. So where I see this going next, right, is then you invite your team in. Okay, so you invite other users, and we have a chat interface where you can actually still call in the chat. You can ask Eva questions, right? So then I foresee this, the team say, did we meet productivity budget last week on Monday morning? And the whole team is in that chat and Eva loads her results and everyone can comment, right? So it's sort of like a communication channel as well. We've got a central location where Eva's there to support in the chat room if you need her.
Yes.
And that's probably the next frontier.
And from someone sort of signing up to ETANI, what is, and it's set up. Okay, so ETANI is, if they've signed up and someone has set it up, and then someone new in the office comes along to start using it, how long is that learning curve for them?
I can't answer that yet, Heather. I mean,
That's okay.
I don't know. I mean, like they are going to get invited in, right? And they will probably like sign in and they'll just get hit with the dashboard that you gave them access to. And they'll be like, oh, right, okay, here's reporting for me. You'll fiddle, you'll show Eva. There'll be like some demo videos. So maybe, like to get up to speed, maybe like an hour or so to sort of fiddle around and find your feet, I think. But yeah,
It's a lot quicker than if they're just tackling Power BI.
that's right.
Mm.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
significantly quicker and significantly easier interface to work with. And look, I'm very delighted that you've taken the time to share this with our audience, Cam. I know that when it sort of first, like I've known the Etani solution now for many, many years, and always knew that there was a lot of power in there, but it was the learning curve and resource curve that was going to be challenging for people, but the adoption and sort of emergence of EVA has just revolutionized that you're offering here. And I think it will be very exciting for a lot of people, a lot of CFOs, a lot of accountants who want to offer that advise, who want to sit in that advisory space. There's a lot of powerful information they can surface very quickly using these tools.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Hey, before we go, could I just finish by showing you the pricing? Because that's something that I'm really proud of now is that we're trying to get people to use this, right? So you can actually just literally add one client, $20 per client. You have one admin user, which is yourself, and then the integrations range from 10 to 50 bucks. So you can literally get playing with this for $60 a month, right? No Power BI, it's just EVA only, but $60 a month and you can start playing with EVA, which is something that we've spent a lot of time on the back end to really make the champion of whole everything. You can go down a Power BI route later if you choose, but it's really accessible. And we range now from every client you want to add is $30 to $50. So you'd say, okay, if I want to add more clients onto this system, I'm thinking between $30 to $50. That's the pricing point. So that's what you need to justify with your clients. And the idea here is that the entry is really reasonable to start playing with AI.
Yeah, and it is there's a lot of talk about AI in the community, but it's actually one of the solutions that's truly using AI and using it effectively. So that is very really interesting pace for accountants modern accountants who want to explore innovative technology and proactively work with their clients.
Thanks, Heather. I'm very excited, as you could probably see.
I can
I
tell.
just, a founder always knows before anyone else. And like when Eva started doing some things, I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting if this is possible.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, how can people get in contact with you, Cam?
Etani.ai is your best route. There's
Okay, do you
contact
want to?
forms.
Okay, yeah, and that's the website up there.
I will jump to
Oh, it's
that
it's
quickly.
it's it's on that page that we could see. Okay,
Okay, cool. Sorry.
that's all right.
Yeah. And you can follow me. If anyone's watching this, you can actually get your phone out right now and scan that QR code. I love connecting with everyone on LinkedIn as well. And you can hear the direction that we're taking this because this is new, Heather. This is just, in 2 years' time, it won't be the way it is. It will still evolve. It will keep evolving. I think this
Yeah,
is like the baseline of where we're going.
fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cam, for spending time with us. Really appreciate it, and really encourage people to take a look at this and look forward to the further developments you have on your journey.
Thank you, Heather. Bye, everyone.